name is Kurt Brown, also known as Saint Rambone. I am formerly an FDIC bank examiner for the federal government. I survived an attempt on my life after reporting money laundering and murder within the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation in California. I was admiring your anarchist work there, a lot of spirit, but what good have you really done? All you've done is just disrupted a little bit of equipment. It's got to be replaced. It's going to take it out of children's school funds and things. If your anarchists are going to be after this regime in power, this enemy to the American people and to the world of humane human beings, you really should target those in power, those higher up, and those who control them. Now, I believe we're in a technological war, and that breeds into quagmire. I actually I heard something about somebody tried to kill George Bush Jr., and he wasn't even killable, which brings up a good point. Well, it wouldn't do any good anyway to kill president because they're nothing more than a public relations official. But it brings up a good point. If you're going to go after these guys, this is a technological confrontation. A regional director for the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation was shot in his head, and it was called a suicide. Now, that was in the early 90s during George Bush Sr.'s presidency and during the savings and loans crisis. I was put in some banks and some bank examinations when some guys were coming over from Nevada and getting bank charters in California, in particular in Roseville at one bank, and I also examined another bank in Sacramento that looked like a very suspicious situation. And the regional director who had replaced a dead man, he seemed to me be very suspect, and he could have been coming all the way from the top from Washington, D.C. This is a technological confrontation. You can read about my story at Mobile Audit Club. Search for it online under Google. That's Mobile or Mobile Audit Club. I really don't think running around tearing up buildings and cars and stuff is going to do you any good. You better watch out with that because they might have agents in there among you pushing you on to do things so they get certain ones of you in prison. You got to realize the regime in power is no ally to the American people, and they have no scruples, no morals, or nothing. I believe this has been an extreme technological war, and there's things going on and happening to us that we are not even aware of until possibly afterward. The more money involved, the more power you have, the more they come after you. They target me because I am extremely educated, and I also know of the government dealings, their corrupt nature. They did some forced injections and forced experiments on veterans and others in Los Angeles in 1999 at the VA Medical Center in Westwood. I was held there and forcibly injected in 2001, early 2001. I was forced to sign documents, and I was ordered silent on the corruption at the FDIC. My opinion of that is they can kiss my ass. If I'm conscious at all, I hope I'm talking to you. However, you must remember they injected me forcibly. When I asked the woman the woman who was working there at the VA the next day, why did they inject me? They said because I was talking too quickly. What happened was I had parked on VA property outside of it. I'm a disabled vet. I was just going to get some simple aspirin type drugs the next day for some pain I was having after traveling for days and looking for a place to stay. Now I will not use any VA health care. I am soon to cut my ties with the government. I'm almost certain I will be looking overseas for employment. I hope to get with a more humane nation than those that control the United States. I have a feeling they are an international regime or an international WAD, as I call them. I urge you to protect your young from the inoculations and the injections, and not only, I'm talking about when they're young, we cannot trust what they might have put in those chemicals. I was also injected in 2004 when I was in probation and exile after what had happened in 2001. I saw what looked like a toxic waste spill inside a road in New Mexico, and I stopped at the Flagstaff Medical Center in Arizona. They allowed those forced injections on me in Arizona in Flagstaff in 2004 because in 2001 they had passed a law stating that they could forcibly inject anyone they suspected who might be insane. Now, you have to look at this from my standpoint. When I was a child, I had a horrific childhood at times. It was very sensitive to stuff, and I used to stutter. And because of the stuttering, I learned to speak quickly. They claimed I was manic because I was speaking quickly. It is a grave atrocity against us. I admire you guys attacking those cars and stuff, your spirit, but it's not going to do any good. It's going to have to be done. Something else will have to be done. We will have to organize. I hope someone will organize and move the regime out of the way, at least those factions that are technological warlords and those who are robbing the poor Americans of everything. There is no need in continuing the United States under the current situation. I live in complete fear and terror in the United States. I'm always on the move, it seems, ever since 2001 after working for the FDIC. Other accountants have been killed, and they call it suicide. They set it up so that it looks like they're killed with their own guns in situations where they might have something corrupt going on. Do not always believe this. There are ways to kill people. There is ways to control people's minds. There's ways to blackmail people, and there's ways to push people under. Like I said, I admire the work you guys did, but I don't think it did any good. We need an organizing force. We need a political party who can deal with the illegal war criminal regime in power. We have lost all our civil rights long ago, and we have now lost all our human rights. I believe that much of history might have been rewritten. I'm beginning to suspect many lies in history. I do not have doubt that there are cruel and inhumane beings or people everywhere in the world. I know some people can even be inhumane. Intelligence, humane intelligence is actually housed in the right forebrain, and there are some people who just don't seem to have any brain there. It's almost like someone who can't really do math or read. I heard it's just another form of intelligence. Like I said, I admire your work. This is my picture here. I call it the queerest of the queer. It's a picture I kind of did before and after some pretty traumatic stuff. I named it the queerest of the queer just after that song by Garbage. It's like a good name. But I call this Ballsy Bub here, this guy right here. And this is actually in San Francisco on Balboa Street. I was a banking examiner there in San Francisco and in Sacramento. Underneath that painting is another painting. You can read about it on my Quatrains one page at Mobile Audit Club, a Mobile Audit Club. Like I said, I admire the work you guys did, but I don't know how much good you did. We need to have an organizing force. We need to deal with this in a technological type manner. We have been deceived and conned. Our people are nothing now. We're being robbed of everything. If we cannot have release in these people, I do not care if we have global war. I was partially blinded when I was in exile, probation in exile. It was like early 2004. I had poison sprayed in my eyes. I am partially blinded by that. I've been attacked numerous times on the highway. I was even attacked in Canada. I cannot find peace anywhere, and it's taken its toll on me in many ways. Right now I'm in Pensacola, Florida. It was a big mistake. There's too much military here. I do not want to be around them. They're killers, cold-blooded killers. They kill innocent around the world. Whoever, whatever they are, and they get people to follow them who have no conscience. I do not want to be around these people. I hope to leave soon. That's not to say that they're all like this, but many of them are. They will do anything for money. Let's face it, a lot of mankind is savages, and they're like dogs. And just running around burning that city did absolutely no good. You've got to target this thing. You've got to target groups. What you need is a full-blown type revolution with a controlling central factor there, and try to at least be humane and be part of the solution and not part of the problem. Now that comes up a very technological question. How do you become part of the solution if we are in a technological war? You will need technological tools, number one. Number two, you better be looking at who's over your shoulder. I've noticed something lately, and I thought about this. Look into the eyes of the people you're dealing with. Be very careful about this. Examine them closely. Your mind can even be deceived. We are in a war that you cannot imagine. I have been tortured one too many times. I've given up in a way. I admit it. I'm getting older, and I'm giving up. Whenever you step on the wrong, put on the ladder, the government puts a ladder in front of you, you better beware, because those rungs are rotten, and they do not want you to rise up. Like I said, I admire your work, but I don't know how much good it is. We do need a good organizing force. This is a technological war. This is Kurt Brown, St. Rambo, and a Mobile Audit Club, wishing you a good day.